very kind introduction. Y'all hear me okay? Got the sound right? All right. I am really excited to meet with you. I can remember back in 1996, I was student at Vanderbilt University, and I'm sitting here listening to a project manager from Opryland talk about the company that I had just started with and how we were doing surveying to set the anchor bolts. David, you'll remember this, I think, for the Hangman roller coaster. So engineering is an exciting thing, and heard this project manager talk about how this coaster is being shipped in, and our survey crew had set the bolts, and they were right on the money. So you've chosen an exciting career field. And I remember being here in this seat when I was just like you. And it has been some time ago. So look forward to hearing from you. Questions, as Mark said, I think got about 30 minutes for me to talk and 20 minutes for you to talk. But if there's something that you're thinking about, please just let me know. My journey started a while back for me, okay? I can remember this first day of summer. I was 12 years old. I came out of my parents' house, and I was excited. I had wiffle ball, baseball, running, shooting my BB gun, all the things that I was going to do. But as I looked down the lane at Reservoir Drive, there was my grandfather. My grandfather was a preacher, carpenter, and you could recognize that GMC truck from a mile away. And I watched as a young boy, because he had taught me, Jim, that he was deliberate, he was purposeful, and if he was going to buy that morning, something unique was going to happen at home. So here I am, I've got this plan set to have a fun summer plan and doing all those things. But as he pulled that truck past the drive, he backed it down, he got out, had a big smile on his face. I said, "Hey, now, Paul," he said, "come over here." He lifted the hatch on that, lowered the tailgate, and there it was. A 21-inch Murray push mower. He had a different plan for my summer, but he said, he looked at me and he said, "I've got Mr. McReynolds' yard, you get the rest." And I literally took that interaction from my grandfather and turned it into over 20 yards I mowed for the next several years, all summer long. And trading services for a fee. So to me, it's no surprise that I stand up here before you today. I'm still trading services in the engineering field for a fee. Now, I learned an awful lot because of my grandfather and that interaction about tailoring the services to the customer's needs. This summer, she wanted her yard mowed on the highest setting so she could watch the grass move with the wind as she sat in her swing. Mr. Knight, he wanted to go on the lowest setting on Friday when his grandkids came over. They wanted their yard mowed, but everybody wanted it done a little bit different. And that's a lot about the engineering business and understanding what your customer wants, what your employer wants, what your professor wants, and how to tailor what they want to what you're doing. It also came with some challenges early on. Arthur, Tony, Ronnie, Robert, Eugene, these were some challenges. You see, they hang out at Pat's Pool Hall. And if they saw me pushing that mower in that 5-gallon can of gas, the chase was on. For about 2 years, those guys chased me, bullied me a bit. My dad would say, "No, Bob, you got to stand up for yourself." You know. At first, though, that problem hit me, and I tried to avoid it. I started making alternative routes. Imagine a young boy pushing the lawnmower through the woods, over the railroad tracks. I'm going to avoid Pat's Pool Room at all costs. The second one there was up through the city park. But one day, they caught me. I had to stand my ground, and guess what? My dad was right, man. If I took up for myself, they would finally leave me alone. And I was free again to move about the city. But that one interaction from my grandfather taught me a lot about leadership, about customer service, and it's again no wonder I'm standing up here before you today. And I want to ask you to think about those people in your life. I have really been a benefactor of those that would engage with me at a moment I could listen, take an interest in me, and help shape my future. And just look for those moments and try to take that moment and listen. Because you're going to have a lot of people weighing in on your future. Professors, parents, best friends, those that can drag you in a direction you don't want to go. But take on, listen to those moments, those opportunities that could just be game changers for you. Okay? Now, bullets were popular back in 1986. Alright, when I graduated. They were popular, I promise they were. I don't see any here, but they were popular, Jim, back then. So this was me as I headed off to my first year of college. I put on my ACT form, you know, say that if I did real well, I'm going to go to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, maybe MIT, and if that doesn't work out, I'll go to UK. I was from Kentucky. But when I got that 23, on my ACT, I didn't hear from Roosevelt, I didn't hear from MIT. I ended up a commuting student at Western Kentucky University. Okay? Signed up, here I am, first semester. I'm excited, I'm riding with my buddy John Maxwell. We're going back and forth to school. I'm taking computer programs and different things, and I'm going to be an electrical engineer. So I get those grades that first semester, and it worked out so well. Right? I realized, you got to go to class. So I talked to my parents, I talked to my parents, and maybe if I moved into the dorm. So I found my buddy Mike Purdue, he needed a roommate in the 6th floor, Pierce Ford Tower. I moved in, and I'm focused. I'm focused this time. Unfortunately, though, it did not have the effect that I hoped it would have. So I'm really lucky to be standing here before you today. All right. I want you to understand that. Very lucky. So, much to my parents' surprise, I got a haircut, I did that, and I joined the United States Air Force. Okay? Mom was a little upset with me over that day when I came home and I enlisted, but I learned an awful lot in the United States Air Force about self-discipline. I spent 7 months deployed in Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm, living in a tent with a team of people that I trusted everything with. I learned about taking people from diverse walks of life. And think about this room. People from all over, people from all around, and being able to accomplish a mission or accomplish a goal. To value people for the gift that they bring. To bring my own self-discipline, to manage myself, my efforts, my actions, my attitude, to be responsible for me. I learned that in the military. But then I deployed to Desert Shield, Desert Storm. I remember the morning that Iraq invaded Kuwait. We were out on the back 40 of the base preparing. My job was mobile combat communications. And what that meant is we deployed with the forward aircraft, F-16s usually, sometimes reviewers, things like that. But we deployed with them and supported all their needs. For every plane up there is about 40 people on the ground doing something to support that plane in its mission. So I spent time over there, and I said, promise the good Lord, if you give me the opportunity to come home from this conflict, then I'm going to take that opportunity and I'm going to do something with it. Because I had 3 people with the clothes that didn't get back. Okay? So here I am in the desert over there. I'm flying back down this 141. My wife, again, the Bon Jovi hairstyle was in back then. Okay? I promise you, it was in. She's waiting there. Back then we didn't have a cell phone and stuff. You weren't sure you'd bump on the way. She's anxiously waiting for me. I haven't seen her for 7 months. She's waiting, but I stepped off that plane. There was a yellow line out there that said, don't cross the yellow line. To all the people waiting. As I stepped off here, she did an in run, and a great football move right there. In run, across the thing. Put her in my arms for the first time, and I said, thank you, Lord, for this opportunity. I'm not going to squander it. I'm going to make the most of it this time. I'm going to go to class. I'm going to put my best effort in. I'm going to listen to those people trying to help me overall. Take what I've learned from the lawnmowing days and mower, all those sorts of things, the Air Force. I'm going to put it to work. So I went back to college. Fortunately, Western had an academic bankruptcy program and let me play back, and I went back to Western. I finished there for 3 years with 3.97 GPA. I applied at Vanderbilt University, got in, and this is me on graduation day with my wife graduating with honors in the Civil Engineering Honor Society. So thank the Lord I had that opportunity to come back. Now, I can remember while I was a student, I'm sitting in Dr. Thaxton's, somebody mentioned to him to me this morning, his water quality and water treatment class. I'm sitting there and I'm listening, I wanted to be this engineer, I wanted to do this, water quality, water resources was my focus. That's what I'm excited about. But I listened to him talk about how water quality, water treatment, had just about doubled mankind's lifespan. That no longer did we die in our 30, 35, 40 years old. We could live to be 75, 80 now because we figured out how to treat our water. We figured out how to manage our wastewater and prevent waterborne illness and things from happening in the U.S. and gave our country, our people, a whole other lifespan. You had a whole other lifespan to be able to pursue your dreams, your career, your service to God and the country. It had that because of engineering, because of what you all do, what you'll be doing. It's incredible. And I was like, wow, I had chosen something really special. And you have, as a career, whether you're mechanical, civil, I talked to some of you when you came in, you have this opportunity because here I am on my first day at Barge Wagner in May of 1996. Some of y'all went to Honduras with Dean Harrison. I heard about him this morning. And David Dean's still leaving an impression on people, and he's going to get his 50-year pin with the company next year. Good Lord willing, he'll get his 50-year service at the Barge Wagner. But he interviewed me on my first day and grilled me on my experience with sewer line inspection and how well I was going to do that summer working for them. Here I am, my first day in 2009 as CEO of Barge Wagner. So I tell people, I started off working for everybody, I've ended up working for everybody. And that's been my journey in the company. So engineering, when you really look behind it, you know, what's behind engineering? You didn't get here today and not touch some form of engineering, whether it's transportation, structural, electrical, took a shower this morning, water, wastewater, all those sorts of things. We had this opportunity to be a community silent partner oftentimes. And I thought, what I would want to see if I were you, just some cool projects here. Here's the nursing center that we worked on with you all. Here's McFarland, the new building that's going up, an expansion, the site plan. And as engineers, we get into worry about, here's the building footprint being attached to a new building, and an existing building, we're building a new building. We worry about setbacks and stormwater and site grade and how firm and soft the soils are. But here we are supporting Lipscomb. Here I get to work for a firm that gets to support you and your university and further your education be a part of it. We try to talk a lot at Barge Wagner about the purpose behind jobs, behind the projects that we're working on. What is this job going to bring about ultimately in our community? And we really take a lot of pride in doing that, being good problem solvers, helping those projects come to life. Here's another side view of that. Here is the convention center. Have y'all seen that? Downtown, our firm was fortunate to participate with the architects and do the site plan. Imagine now the community coming up and saying, hey, we want this convention center, but it's an area that looks like this right now. Now, how do we locate this building? It's about 8 blocks. So how do we put that building in our downtown? And look at it now, and the economic development that it's creating and showcasing our community. And now it's being used. And at Barge Wagner, we had that opportunity to figure out how to deal with the stormwater, how to deal with the tunnel. There's a tunnel that runs under the convention center that goes into the arena. It's how the hockey players and all the refreshments get into the games. They run the trucks and everything through a tunnel. And we had to build this building up over the tunnel. So imagine trying to keep the arena open the entire time that you're working on building a new convention center, music center. We have a 400,000-gallon tank underneath the building that's used to irrigate the roof up on top. And our firm had the privileged opportunity to be involved with all that traffic. We have a street that's also going through the convention center building. And as engineers, we get to work with the contractors, work with the communities to help bring projects like this to life. And that's the cool thing about what you all do, what you all chose to learn and train in. And I don't know where your path will take you, but these are the type of things that engineers get to be involved in. Here is a rocket test stand for NASA. NASA called us up and said, hey, we got this project. This was an old stand that they had done years ago. They wanted to retrofit it for a new mission that they had taken on. And we bolt the rocket engine to this stand. Generates about 8 million pounds of force. And we have about an 8-foot diameter water line that's coming to it to cool it off. Otherwise, the steel, the fire would just melt everything if we didn't have a way to cool it off. When you see those space shuttles take off, those rockets, a lot of what you see there is steam coming off where the water's using to cool it down. Our structural engineers this is like a structural engineering dream then, to work on something like this, had this opportunity to be able to help NASA navigate that, attach the rocket to it. I got to work on the water line that served this particular site. And let's see. So I want to give you some lessons as engineers to think about kind of what your role is. You're going to learn a lot about problem solving, a lot about how to figure out calculus and navigate geotechnical and surveying and mechanical fluid dynamics, all those things. But you need to be looking also and participating like you are today for those leadership opportunities, those communication opportunities. Those are so important to you because as engineers, whether you're leading a firm like I am today or you're leading a project team, Your job is to help kind of understand, hey, here's where we are, the reality of where we are right now. We have a community that wants a convention center, that wants to locate it right here in the middle of downtown. This is the reality, and here's where we want to be, our aspirations, and how we're going to get there. And a lot of times we're called upon, our field is called upon to help our communities, our clients, our industries solve these very complex problems. You know, and that's a real leadership opportunity for you. The better you can lead, the better you can communicate, the better you pay attention to that. You know, English 300 was not my favorite class. It was not the one that I longed for. But learning to be a good writer, a good communicator, is very, very important in this field. So how do you communicate this? Because ultimately you have to get there, and our job is to help cast a vision overall for how we're going to get there, what this project looks like, helping them envision. I showed you for McFarland a little rendering that the architects did, so we can help Lipscomb University visualize what this building is going to look like. And that's something as engineers, architects, as our society, our profession, we're called upon to help communicate. And that's a pretty big deal for us. And that's a skill that we all need to be working on to be better communicators. Another one here is, it's like no matter what plan you do, plan A doesn't quite work out, right? Plan B doesn't quite work out. It might be plan C, D, or E, ultimately, that gets implemented. That's my lesson. That's what I've learned along the way. Solving those homework problems, working those things out, it seems that I can get to an exact plan, an exact answer. But in our real world, it's not quite like that. You know, you build a plan, but how do you adapt? And most engineers I work with, I am a civil engineer, most of us, we don't really look for the next chance to change, Jim. That's not what we want to do, look for the next chance to change. Often we look to solve the next problem, but not necessarily the next chance to change. So how do you adapt and change is so important as a big leadership lesson. And I hope y'all think about, as you look for opportunities, we were talking this morning about Dave Rastovich. I don't know if any of y'all are surfers, where you came from, but Rastovich man was a surfer. And I put up a picture of him. Imagine a surfer, had the dreadlocks, the beads, the ripped abs, and he's up there holding the surfboard and asking my team, what do we have in common with Dave? Well, I don't have anything in common with that, right? It's different, right? What do I have in common with this guy? Well, he drew a big circle on the board, surfer did. He said, what is this? And he heard circle, sphere, it's this. He said, it's your comfort zone, right? But when change comes about, and he put a little dot right outside the circle, and he said, that's where the magic happens, you know, right outside your comfort zone, to be able to stretch yourself. Those opportunities to have plan B, to have plan C, give you a chance to grow. You're taking that big step now with this program and what you're doing, stepping outside the comfort of where you were, for the opportunity to be an engineer. So look for the change, look for those leadership opportunities that help you grow. Now, I try to challenge our people, let's not get too far outside the comfort zone. Let's stay somewhat in the vicinity of the circle, all right? Questions so far? Anything on your mind? Yes, sir.
What made you change from electrical to civil engineering?
So I was focused on electrical. My dad was an electrician. He was a maintenance man. I loved watching him work, all the things he was doing. When I went to the Air Force, we ran communications. They had surveying. We used surveying to help locate where antennas should be pointed, how they should be positioned. I got out, was going back to school, and my father-in-law had the family farm surveyed, and I hung out with surveyors for 4 days and really enjoyed humping up and down with him. And the surveyor there, I said, how do you get to do this? And he said, Bob, really you go get a degree in civil engineering. Western had a civil engineering program at the time, and that's where I adjusted and changed. I really liked outside, like working on different projects, and that's what led me to that direction. It was. And then I got into it. I worked for the state a couple of summers doing bridge inspections, paving inspections. I worked for a utility doing water system modeling, construction inspections for them. And then I went to work for Bard Wagner, and it just stuck. It just fit for me. It really felt good. That's how I made that transition. Any other questions? Good question. Man, all right. I'm going to keep going. So something else you have to think about is starting with the right team. Oftentimes, as a project manager leading a team, do I have the right team? That's a big leadership lesson. You want the right team around you. You want to recruit the right team. You want to move the wrong team off your team. That's a big leadership lesson that you'll have to face on your team. Oftentimes, when we talk about this, it's like coaching and teaching. Now, I'm from Kentucky originally. Any Duke fans in here? Okay, I can't be a Duke fan and be from Kentucky. I can't be. I want to help, but I can't. You know, it's just not in my DNA. But Coach Day is a remarkable coach, and I talked to him. I heard him talk one time, and I listened to this lady. She asked him a question. She said, "Coach, how do you go from just dressing a player down 1 minute to patting them on the back and building them up the next minute?" And right off the cuff, he says, "I tell them that I got you for 4 years. And I'm going to be honest with you in the moment. And that's more than most people are going to give you your entire life. Honestly." And think about that as a coach, as a professor, as you as an engineer. Oftentimes as an engineer, we're not thinking about the next time we can mix it up a little bit with somebody, right? We're wanting to maybe avoid that or park that off. But a big part of leadership and leading a team is coaching and teaching the team and helping them be better and taking on that opportunity. Because if you don't try to correct it, you don't try to support it, then they're going to do it again, you know, or they won't do it again if it's something you really want. You know, so something I want to encourage you all on the leadership side is really get in there and mix it up. Don't be afraid of a little conflict. Now, we talk at our team. We go into a conference room. We want diversity. We want diversity of thought in that room. We shut the door. We all kind of talk about it. We debate it back and forth. Now, when you decide, and you open the door, and you step out, then we're all together. We're all united. We're all supporting the mission. Right? That's important. Whether I won or lost my battle in there, I'm on the team. And I'm supporting the mission. And you'll run into that in your careers early on. You might pick this size pump station. You might want to put it here. Somebody else in your team has picked this size pump station. They want to put it there. They pick this tank height. They pick this pipeline size. You pick something different. Do it out in the room. Y'all go through and debate it, and that's healthy. That helps us build a better project, helps us build a better design. But when you walk out, we're all on the same team. We're arm in arm at that point. And sometimes as engineers, we struggle with that because we really have pride in that solution that we came up with. You know, we really want to implement that. But it's important that in a leadership moment, you show unity. And whether it's your idea to one over this time, and maybe the next time it'll take over. Another thing here, it seems easy now. You're in college, you're learning every day, but staying committed to learning. That is so important. Whether you're a reader, reading journals, out there going to classes, stay committed. You know, we partner with Lipscomb University. Jim, you taught a communications class with our team, our Barge Leadership Institute. And we want our leaders, our people, our engineers to stay engaged in learning. That's going to help you more. You're learning a lot now. You're probably, man, I can't wait to quit learning and get out of here and get to work. But that learning's not going to stop. It's going to keep going. And the most successful people I run across in business are people who are continually examining themselves. How can I learn? How can I be better? How can I help make the team better overall? Okay? So, let's see here. Also, it's easy to get real engaged in work sometimes. And I think the thing that I hate to see the most are people maybe that are at retirement, have left their family behind, their grandkids behind, and all of a sudden they don't really have anything to retire to. I'm sure you all have seen that in your careers. People just get to a point they didn't have a lot of balance along the way. And the best people that work for us are the people that have life in balance. You know, work will demand a lot of you. A lot of times we'll ask you to work 70 hours a week or more. We had a team working for the Tennessee Valley Authority this winter. They had a deadline with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. They called on about 30 of our people and said, hey, we need your help. And we committed to do it, committed to that deadline. I know some of those employees work 90 hours some weeks to get things done. But what we're going to do at the end of the time is give them time off, reconnect, get reoriented. So keeping that thing in balance, for me, that's spiritual. It's my family and it's my work. I'm trying to put time in all three of those buckets all the time. Don't leave one of them off, because that's so important that you maintain that balance. As you go out as entrepreneurs, as engineers trying to start things, be sure, bring your family along with you. Put some time into the spiritual aspect of what you do. Whatever you call it for you is for what, that's personal, that's for you. But try to make sure you put time in all three of those buckets. Okay? Everybody understand that? That's a big deal. Make sure you maintain some balance. You know? At Lipscomb, we want you working and studying hard all the time, right? But seriously, make sure you maintain the balance there. Now I'll talk about some of the leadership things. We'll talk about communication. When Jim came and taught our communications class, he said, Bob, the first rule, remember that? The first rule, communication is sent, never equals receive. Now think about that. Any of y'all ever text somebody and they didn't quite understand your text? Does that ever happen? You emailed somebody and they didn't quite understand the email? Maybe they thought there was, tone to it. And you were just saying, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Right? So, sent never equals receive. And you all are in this communications, this era of all types of communications. And we try at Bars Wagner to use video. We try to video certain events, certain things that happen. I get to travel around and see some of the very best of what our company gets involved in. I'm meeting with the client last week, and they're talking about how well our employees are doing, what's happening. Just meeting with some of your staff and hearing them talk about Jeff Cunningham with our team and what a great job he's doing on the McFarland Center, the different buildings and projects he's working on. So we try to use those moments to come back and communicate with the team. Try to get clients to come in and be videoed. I try to send messages out there, video messages, banner email messages, different ways, because Jim helped us understand that words have no meaning. That you're assigning right now meaning to the words that I'm using, your own meanings. And so we have to try to say it often and in different ways, so we try to help everybody communicate. And I would tell you that whether it's engineering students or it's 10 or 15 or 25-year experienced engineers, this is one of our biggest challenges as a profession, communication. Written, oral, presentations, that's one of our biggest challenges. You may know the answer, but you have to be able to communicate. All right, you may be able to cast that vision and have it spelled out in your mind, but you have to be able to communicate it. So, a couple of things I use, techniques on that. I became CEO, but I started at Bars Wagner as an intern. I remember what it was like working back in the back, doing plans, specifications, running copies, running errands, whatever it took. Like I said, I worked for everybody when I started inspecting jobs. And I learned real quick that not everybody up front in the front offices knew everything that was going on out of the floor, out of the trenches. And it's important that, to me as CEO now, knowing that that's the case, that I can't possibly know in the corner office in Nashville what's happening in our Columbus office in Georgia all the time. So I have to get out of my office. I have to step out and get down to Columbus, Georgia, and meet with those folks and talk with those folks and spend time with them, encourage feedback, and meet with the clients and get out there, get outside my bubble, my context. Because if I had purple shaded sunglasses on right now, all of y'all look purple to me, but you're not purple. Purple's a good color, right? But you're not purple, right? But if I take them off, I realize, oh, and then you have your purple lenses on looking at me in the same way. So helping our staff understand why we're doing something, me understanding how our staff are taking what we're doing is an important thing. So I put this up here to Kool-Aid. I used to love Kool-Aid. So if I'm drinking Kool-Aid, I want to know what the flavor is, how well our staff's taking it. I love Berry Blue, but hey, how well is staff taking it? What does it really taste like out there on the floor, out there with our people? So getting outside the bubble is important. Now this communication thing, you're going to engage in a workforce of some sort, whether you're in your own company, you're going to go work for an institution, work for a consulting firm like ours, a government institution. This is like national employee data, okay? Is that time left, Mark, or time up?
Time left.
Time left, okay. We're coming to the end. All right, so here's what they say about employees and their degree of engagement in the workforce. All right? Only 49%, or 33% are engaged, meaning they're emotionally connected. We define employee engagement as you're emotionally connected to the work. You care about the people, the projects, you're in it to win. You know, you're vested. If you're not engaged, you're just kind of punching the clock. And they say that almost 50% of our workforce is not engaged. And they've done this national survey, thousands of employees, thousands of companies. And the worst part is 18% are actually disengaged. Like they're mad about it, and they're recruiting. They're recruiting for that category, right? So this communication in the workplace and your project teams is so important. Have you ever worked on a project team, maybe somebody wasn't engaged? Right? You understand what I'm talking about? Right? So this communication is such an important piece of it. Another thing we do at Bars Wagner is try to help our employees understand the bigger purpose behind their job. This is a MAP facility, military operations in urbanized terrain. It's like a town. All right, the water tower in the middle there, the watchtower, is actually a control room. There are military people that sit up there, and they can fire bombs out, projectiles out, they can make sounds, they can make chicken noises, whatever. Make it really sound like you're walking through an Afghan village, an Afghan town, a village in Iraq. They can put it all over. They bring hundreds of volunteers in, dress them up. And just imagine this as a fully functioning town. Well, we got asked to design this facility by the military. The buildings themselves are concrete buildings. Just poured in place, concrete, rebar, a few conduits for lights. There's no windows. There's bars across the windows to keep the troops from falling out. But in the height of Iraq and Afghanistan, our people were designing this facility. The military was trying to train people as quickly as they could to put them in harm's way to help with the mission, what was going on. And I heard our structural engineers talk about, man, I work on this job. I'm on hour 70, it's Saturday night, I really would rather be home, and I'm having to work to design this project. And I thought, man, how can I connect with our people? How can I help them understand what this facility is for? So I had a Colonel John Alexander. He came in and he spoke to our team. And he was on a helicopter that crashed. He rode the helicopter to the ground, like in Black Hawk Down. He was on that helicopter, rode it to the ground. And he talked to our people about this facility and how this facility was going to prepare our soldiers for war. How they would practice at this facility 100 times before they ever carried a gun to the doors. And then they would learn to blow the door, they would learn to go in. They would use this facility to save lives. I had him come and talk to our people about that. And then I saw the pride, wow. Whether you're in uniform or not, you're getting to support our nation's military with these types of facilities. So again, I go back to that bigger purpose, whether it's a steel mill we did in northern Alabama. Yeah, it's about process, it's about structural, electrical, mechanical, all those different things, but it's also about Shirley Purdue, who works in the metallurgy lab. And she's there working now, and she's got a degree in chemistry, a background in metallurgy. She gets to work in her hometown at this steel mill, and she's really excited about it. But for us, it looks like all these different things, it's a chance for our team to make a difference and get to participate. So, when you get this engaged culture, it's pretty powerful. It really makes a difference in your company. You get excited about it. People are pumped up to get there. But leadership and communication, these lessons are so important to be able to do that. Celebrate your wins are important. Commitment to being engaged. This is my dad's brass check tag. He was a maintenance man. He carried me to work on Saturdays. He would take that tag, move it from the outboard to the inboard. He'd take me with me. And he'd take me with him. I remember one Saturday, he said, Bob, it's more than just showing up and saying I'm here. It's really about being engaged in what you're doing. He might be in there to replace the thermostat in a furnace, but he knew that the other four were going to go out, so he go ahead and replace all of those while he was there, because he was committed to it. And I learned that from him early on in life. Now, leaders are always under observation. I mean, it's a big communication thing that what you allow becomes what you condone. It's better to walk the talk than to talk the talk, live it out every day, what you do. I had an assistant once, I was on the telephone, I heard somebody come up and say, hey, talk available. She said, wait a minute, oh, he's on the phone in his right hand, he thought it was right at the office, and it's the left hand, I said, it's a work call, and he's going to be on for a while. I'm like, dang, well, I tell her that much, but apparently I did, and she was right. All right, so you're always under observation. Anybody know who this is? Babe Ruth, right? How about this one? Hank Aaron? Now he's suffering with it this year. What about this guy? Holes, right? Now why do we recognize these people? Why do we recognize them? Great baseball players, exceptional hitters, right? If you think about these people, exceptional hitters batting over 300. All right, here they are, batting over 300 over their career. Now, engineers will love the numbers. And so think about 25, 26 week batting, 25, 26 week season, 20, 25 at-bats a week. And those of you who have statistics yet, as many of you math, if you figure that out, that's about one hit a week. If you can get one hit a week, you can move from the 250 club, where most people bat in Major League, 250, 260, to that 300 plus club. Work out the math, one hit a week. What does that mean? One hit. If I can do one hit a week better than everybody else, I can move in this memorable place. This place where I sit that I'm recognizable. And so, y'all heard all right, Dickie? Oh, the national guy? He was playing for the Mets at the time. I had a chance to talk with him. I said, all right, talk to me about this deal. And most players back in that 250, 260 range, you're a pitcher. You face a lot of hitters. I mean, I'm on the phone with, all right, I got this chance to talk to him. He's in the Mets club now. We're talking. He said, I said, talk to me, how did he get that hit off of it? And sometimes as engineers, as soon as we get excited and ask a question, we'll start answering. I'm like, how did they get this hit off of you? Did they work harder? Did they spend more time? He went, whoa, it's the major leagues. Everybody works hard. That's the price of admission. Working hard. That's the price of admission. So he slowed down. I said, okay, you got my attention. So what is it? And he said, so a batter in baseball, a batter goes to the plate. He's 1 for 3, 333. But there's a runner on. He's asked to lay down the bunt. At that point, his focus shifts his own batting average to that of his team. He's trying to move that player. He's going to lay down the bunt. And odds are he's going to be thrown out at that point. He's going to be thrown out, but if he's successful, if he's moved the player forward. So he said service and sacrifice are important. That ultimately, if he's successful, the runner has moved, the runner has scored, he's thrown out. Baseball doesn't count that at bat against you. That's a sacrifice. He walks off the field, still 1 for 3. Not 1 for 4, 250. He walks off the field 1 for 3, back to the dugout, still headed toward the Hall of Fame, but he's helped his team. And that's something I really want y'all to remember. Service and sacrifice is important. It's inherent in our profession, but it's your peers ultimately that lift you up. It's how you serve the team. It's not how you serve with the boss. It's not how you do those things. It's how you serve the team ultimately helps you. He said the second way is patience. A good batter goes up to the plate. They know their strengths and weaknesses, what they can hit, what they can't hit, and they're patient enough, often enough, to get a walk. Just be patient. Don't swing at every pitch. Not every opportunity that comes your way. It's something I'll be putting resources to. So the better hitters go to the plate 1 for 3. They walk. Now they're on base. They can steal. They can score. They can get in. Whatever it might be. But now they're still 1 for 3 when they walk off. Baseball doesn't count that walk against you. Okay? So patience, service, sacrifice. I said, okay, you said there were 3. There has to be to get the hit, right? They're in there, and I asked him, well, how do they do that? How do they make that connection? And he said the better hitters are self-aware, emotionally intelligent. Like, I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses. And then, when they step into the batter's box and they take the bat in their hand, they're paying attention to the field of play. Okay? And as engineers, we get a lot of certifications, we get a lot of education, a lot of licenses, and those things are so important to our craft. But it's important you know what you're capable of, what you can do, what your strengths and weaknesses are. But when you step into that meeting, when you step in front of that city council, when you're up in front of that mayor, you're in front of that industrial board, it's important that you play the field and adjust your communications, your strategy to what you see. Okay? That's so important. He said, and the hitters that do that more often, 1 time a week than everybody else, get the hit. So that's self-awareness, situational awareness, and doing that 1 time a week puts you headed for the Hall of Fame. And that's a pretty big deal. At our office, I gave every one of our employees this coin. Okay? It's a coin. You got to put your name on it, BWSC. It's got a quote from our founder, Dan Barge. We got a great thing going that's built upon it. Got to have a date on the coin, 1955, when we were established. But on the back of it is my jersey number, my payroll number, 901, with the company. And just to work better, that I had the chance through patience, self-awareness, situational awareness, that I had the chance to service and sacrifice. 1 time a week, better than everybody else, to help make Barge Rider better. And that's really the lesson that I want to leave y'all with today. Questions? Thank you. Questions? Yes? No? Just stretch. All right. Yes?
What does it look like when you're in a meeting in a boardroom and you're talking with all the different components of the project? There's, just kind of under normal circumstances, and then what's it look like when there's conflict, or maybe there's not just a conflict of interest, but maybe ethics or interesting quality. What happens when you have discrepancies like that?
Okay. So great question, ethics, right? Don't ever trade your ethics for anything, ever. And you will be challenged too, okay? I talked about an example. One of our competitors here in town called me up on Wednesday afternoon and said, Bob, we're doing some survey work out for this client. And we found a foot difference in elevation when they submitted the flood certification. We found a 1 foot difference. Now, they weren't calling to work out the difference, Jim. They weren't calling to say, hey, we'd like to talk to you about the difference we found. They were calling to say, I got you. You're wrong. And this was a levee system where they were surveying. It was a big deal to be wrong. Okay? I talked to our survey team. I went out, met with them. They met on the site. We met the competition surveyor out there. And they were using a GPS unit. The GPS unit had an antenna on top of it, a little backpack the guys got a handheld. Turns out the competition was using the wrong antenna. Okay? And they were afraid. And they had that piece of equipment for 2 years. Okay? But you're going to get challenged like that. The next week, I'm in a meeting with the client, and I don't even mention that. We don't talk about that. That's between them and the client. Right? Even though they had kind of blistered us to the client about being wrong. We don't talk about it. Sometimes the competition isn't going to hold the same moral ground that you are, but I think it was the road that said a man that wears 2 faces eventually forgets which face he started with. And you never want to put that face on. You have ever. So that's a big deal. You'll get challenged too. You'll lose some because you're standing high ground, but it's okay. You'll win alone. Okay, so this I want to address that ethics point. You'll get pushed. I get pushed. You get pushed to bend. Don't bend. It's not worth it. I'd rather lose than bend on that. Okay. Now the idea about I can remember a moment where we were trying to convince a client to hire us to do a water plant, long-term water plant. And one of our employees was with us and said, well, the mayor's never going to buy that. I'm like, well, he's never going to buy it if you don't sell it to him. You know, if you don't leave here in support of it. And so we sat down and we had a dialogue about it. I listened to him, he listened to me, and we adapted the plan to something he could sell, something he felt like would work out. And that's often what happens. You're in those meetings, you're sitting around and say, we've got a team of professional people that all have the best intentions. I try to assume if you're critiquing something, because each of us, I think it's called the amygdala. We have this little amygdala in our brain, and if the saber-toothed tiger walked through the door, it would kick in to help us survive. Okay, it would kick in and say, okay, we're going to go this way quickly. And it would try. And sometimes when somebody offers you a criticism, that same thing fires in your brain, and you want to survive. You know, you're just like, wait a minute, you're critiquing me. I don't care for that. You're critiquing me, and you fight back. You do something. So we try to assume that if you're coming after me with something, you're coming to try to help me. Okay, that you're coming to try to help make the project better. And I listen, I've got the opportunity, right? So we really try to challenge our teams to think about it like that. And I tell you what, if you sit around the room and everybody says, yes, 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 the best thing to do is go find somebody else that says no, okay? And try to find that difference of opinion. Okay, still answer might be yes, but if everybody agrees, we try to go find somebody who disagrees. Good question. Good question. Yes, sir.
Just a quick one. That rocket stand you were on?
It was, yes, sir. Yeah, it sure was. Yeah, and they strapped a big rocket engine to it, like 8 million pounds of thrust, and we got to cool it off and hold it to the ground.
What project was the rocket? I'm just curious.
Obama shifted the mission, you know, from the moon shot. This was originally, we were adapting the rocket, the Saturn rocket, to the moon shot that NASA had planned, and Obama shifted that mission to something different. Yeah, that was it.
We've got about 2 minutes left. Time for one more question if someone.
All right. Yes, sir.
Which valve site was that?
That was at Fort Knox. Yeah, Fort Knox. Did you get it right?
No.
Okay.
We just knew we had to pay.
Fort Knox. They take volunteers to go up there and participate. And the funny thing was, the guy said, if any of you have, we went up there and got to train with them. There was a Delta Force mission, got to train with them. Said, if any of you have any thought that you're going to get picked to be on the team after this training, forget it. Your job is to die. You know, you can go easy or you can go hard, but you're going to go down one way or the other. So we had a little fun with that. And I went real easy 4 or 5 times.
Let's show our appreciation to Bob. those that haven't scanned yet, make sure that you head out that door. You want to get that done before you leave. Join us next month for our Executive Residence Program. We will have the Deputy Director of the Marshall Space Flight Center. So we'll be great. We'll see you then when all our